Hey, ladies and gents, welcome back. This is going to be part 2 to What If Naruto Was a Demon Lord? With that being said, there's going to be, just like the last part, no like goal in this video. We'll see how well it does, and if it does well, you guys will get another part. Or I'll put it in a poll in the future, we'll see exactly what happens with that. So with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll leave a link to my Discord in the description, make sure to check that out, and you can leave me different ideas for what ifs and everything like that. And that, along with, just commenting what kind of what if ideas you want, what kind of powers you want Naruto to have, and basically everything in between. So with that being said, let's actually get into the what if. So, before we actually get into the new material, let's do a brief recap of what actually happened in the last part, starting with a little bit of an explanation of how exactly Naruto is going to have this Demon Lord inside of him. So basically, there's two different Demon Lords that are inside of the Naruto universe. One being, I'm introducing them, obviously. This is not something that is normally a thing. One of them I'm going to reveal now. This is the one that got itself sealed inside of Naruto, and kind of merged its personality with Kurama's and Naruto's, creating a completely new character, this being the new version of Naruto, who is going to be the new Demon Lord. So, with that, there is also one other Demon Lord, except I'm not going to say exactly what this Demon Lord's powers are. The Demon Lord that Naruto got, basically, I don't know exactly how to, merged with, I guess you could say, is the Demon Lord of the shadows, of the birds, of the crows, kind of like everything like that. Naruto would be able to use these black wings, kind of like how I show in the picture, and Naruto has all kinds of weird, different, funky powers related to related to crows and darkness and all these different kinds of things. So, with Naruto actually having these kinds of powers, he obviously immediately would see an absolutely massive increase in his physical strength, physical durability, physical speed, basically everything. Except the main thing that would change wouldn't be that. Naruto would eventually get stronger throughout the series, however, his personality would not change all too much. The main thing that would change here is Naruto's personality, because remember, there's two bad things merging together to try to counteract Naruto's good, well-behaved nature. So what exactly is this going to culminate to? Well, basically, come on, it's a Demon Lord that was about to try to... He was about to do some weird things to Hinata, who's like a 16-year-old, we don't know how old the Demon Lord is, so he's probably not the greatest person in the world. We know exactly what Kurama was like before Naruto did his little talk no jutsu on him, but Naruto's personality would be the only one fighting these two dark, basically, personalities. So, with all of these different personalities merging together, Naruto would have a not exactly decent balance. He'd be chaotic neutral, I guess you could say, in terms of his personality. He could snap at any moment. However, Naruto's, good-natured self, unless Naruto was kind of angry or anything like that, would be when he would completely snap and go on a complete rampage. For now, he will at least cooperate with society and do different things that, he'd actually become a ninja and everything like that. However, if Naruto were to get mad, who knows what would happen? He would completely lose control of everything, and the Demon Lord, or Kurama, would completely and utterly take over Naruto at this point. Naruto's, basically, psyche is just at that very brink of the balance point where he is barely able to keep control of himself. So Naruto's personality is very chaotic neutral, I guess you could say, unless he gets mad, in which case he would be very chaotic evil. So basically speaking, Naruto's going to be very different. So, how exactly is Hinata going to react to this? Because Hinata is the only person that is basically with Naruto at this point, and they're about to have their little conversation. So with that being said, let's actually get into the new material. I'm probably going to leave a timestamp for those of you who wouldn't have wanted to watch through that, which will be around 4 minutes, obviously. But you guys don't really care because you just watched through that anyway if you just, heard what I just said. So, with that being said, let's get into the new material of the What If. Starting with Naruto and Hinata's actual conversation. Their conversation would start, and basically speaking, it would be pretty interesting, because Hinata was used to this kind-hearted Naruto. Remember, they're both 16 at this point, which means they had more time to interact. However, with the Naruto universe changing so much, none of the normal stuff would happen. Naruto, for one, wouldn't be resented quite as much, because having a tailed beast inside of you, you'd be seen, the same, more as a weapon than anything else. However, they would also be seen as a savior, a way to fight the Demon Lords. So what exactly is going to happen to Naruto now that it merged with, he has a Demon Lord and a nine-tailed beast? How exactly is that going to affect Naruto's life? But anyway, we'll get into that later. Naruto and Hinata's conversation comes first because that's kind of where we are in the present time of things going on at this point. So Naruto and Hinata would start talking. Hinata would basically start off the conversation by being like, Naruto? And Naruto looks at Hinata at this point, and he doesn't know exactly what to say. Because again, all these personalities are trying to merge together at this point. They're still not at that like perfect balance point. Like all the basically personalities and memories and everything like that would just be flooding through Naruto at this point. And Naruto's trying to keep the rage underneath, trying to keep it so that he can try to remain calm, right? Try to remain himself. He simply looks at Hinata. Again, he has blue slits in his eyes, like I said in the last part, and Hinata gets kind of scared by this as they briefly flare a red tint. And Hinata's like, what was that? She's confused a little bit. And Naruto once again calms down a little bit, and his eyes once again turn back to the blue color they once were. He simply says to Hinata, we must return to the village. He says nothing more, nothing less. He doesn't really need to at this point. And he gets up because he was sitting on the floor because of all the pain that he was feeling from, and he was literally unconscious for a certain amount of time there, and he stands up now. He starts wandering around the castle, basically basically just looking around, seeing exactly what he just got himself into. Walking around a little bit more, he's basically just taking in all of his surroundings, looking around the island and everything like that, trying to see a way for them to basically return. So with Naruto looking around at this point, in the corner of his eye, he spots it. It's a boat. He basically turns to Hinata, giving her a little gesture before basically telling her to come over to Naruto. He points down to the boat and says, we should go down to it. So with them basically both heading down to the boat, they arrive at the boat after a certain amount of time would pass. This boat is not actually like a completely massive boat like the one they arrived on. It's just a simple, small sailboat, basically suitable for around 2 to 3 people. They both get on board after getting the necessary supplies that they would need because, come on, this is the castle of a demon lord. He'd have all kinds of different shit. So basically, in the place of that one person that would have needed or would have been on the boat, they put in different food, supplies, water, everything like that, because obviously you can't really drink ocean water. After loading up the boat, they set sail in the direction they need to go, back towards the Leaf Village. Naruto at this point would actually have memories of sailing and different things like that, because again, Kurama would know more than Naruto would about, different demon lords and different everything like that. And the demon lord would obviously know a lot about sailing and everything like that. He has a literal boat. So Naruto, with all these memories and personalities merging together, would, for some reason, be able to actually, navigate and do everything like that. So setting sail back towards the Leaf Village, they end up basically back on their journey. Their journey took about, we'll say, I think it was like 40 hours-ish. So, with them finally arriving, Naruto actually got some chance to take a little bit more of sleep. Because remember, Naruto was awake for quite a while. And he managed to sleep for a little bit, but only for a few hours. But because, again, he was laying on the hard brick of the castle. And he woke up to screams from Hinata, or not screams, but weird noises from Hinata, and hearing the blacksmith. So Naruto would have woke up basically not naturally. He only got, maybe we'll say 4 hours of sleep, whereas he was awake for over 40 hours at that point. So Naruto would be very, very tired at this point. He'd go to bed on the boat. Hinata would most likely do the same. Eventually they'd wake up, and they'd see that they could see the mainland in their vision, with them only being around 20 minutes away from it. So, spending the rest of their time just talking to each other, their conversations would not really be all too much. Hinata would try to converse with Naruto, however Naruto would just look at her, give her simple one-word answers. Yes, no, and just, different things like that. With Hinata getting more and more annoyed as the conversation went on, she basically tells Naruto, she's like, I think you should take part in this conversation a little bit more. Naruto gets a little bit angry as his eyes once again flare to that red color. He looks at Hinata and he's like, shut up! Hinata's like, oh, she wasn't expecting something like that. She wasn't expecting Naruto's temper and everything like that to heat up so quickly. And she basically shuts up because she doesn't want Naruto to get too mad to the point where he'd lose control and maybe even hurt her in some way, or maybe even kill her. She doesn't want anything like that to happen. So with them finally reaching the land, they had been sitting in silence for about the past 10 minutes. With them reaching the land, obviously people would have seen the boat sailing in their direction, and they'd wonder exactly what's happening. Seeing the figure of Naruto and Hinata standing in the bow of the ship, they basically would alert Hiashi, however the hell you pronounce it, that his daughter and some boy has returned. They didn't recognize Naruto just as some person. Hiyashi would get worried, thinking that this might be the Demon Lord trying to return to the basically village, and he'd order a bunch of different people, like top-ranking ninja, to basically be escorted to, or not escorted, but be where exactly where they thought the Demon Lord was going to be. So with them showing up there, Naruto and Hinata would be ambushed, with all of them going for Naruto at this point, because Naruto has undergone quite a massive physical change because, merging with the fucking Demon Lord. Nobody would really recognize him, and they'd start all attacking all at the same time. However, Naruto's physical strength, enhanced reaction speed, everything would be absolutely massive. He'd dodge out of the way of all of their attacks, before starting to get a little bit angry because they're attacking him for absolutely no reason. Naruto, starting to get a little bit angry, once again his eyes flare to that red color before he starts to let off a little bit of steam, and literal steam starts coming off of Naruto's body. As Naruto's body starts enveloping in this weird black aura, and Naruto tries to suppress it, but more and more hatred is seeping out of him, and everybody looking at Naruto just sees this demonic aura, this demonic presence that nobody has really ever felt before. Nobody's really ever been in the presence of a demon lord showing off his power. Naruto is trying to withhold this power, trying to keep control of it, trying to contain it, and he's actually able to this time. Due to the fact that Naruto wasn't completely pissed off at this point, he basically pulls the energy aura back into himself. He opens his eyes once again. They still are that red color, but over a few seconds, they would start slowly morphing back into a blue. And Naruto, looking around at his surroundings, finally calm again, would basically explain exactly what happened while they were on the island, and explain that he is kind of a demon lord now, or something along those lines, and everybody would be absurdly worried. They saw that demonic aura, the demonic presence that Naruto just let off, just by getting slightly agitated. They're very worried that Naruto might completely he might just rampage and kill literally everybody. And Naruto obviously would be pretty conscious of this because he's the nine-tailed beast. He knew he was the nine-tailed beast, or not nine-tailed beast. He knew he was the nine-tailed Jinchuriki at this point, and he knows exactly what the villagers thought of him already, and he knows that they were afraid that he might go on a rampage. But now he has the nine tails and a demon lord sealed inside of him, and for all they know, Naruto might literally become a demon lord. Hint, hint, wink, wink at what will happen in the future, considering Naruto is going to be a demon lord in this what if. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, with that happening, everybody would be absolutely terrified of Naruto, and they'd basically stand up, and they'd be like, Naruto, we're going to have to do something. And Naruto would stand up, and he'd look at them and be like, what are you going to do to me? And they'd all basically be like, you're going to the island where the demon lord once resided. You are going to be the demon lord. And Naruto's like, what? What do you mean I'm going to be the demon lord? Like, well, you are quite literally the demon lord at this point. Although we will keep Hinata with you, just for an offering, and so you don't do anything harsh to us right now that we're telling you this. And Naruto's like, oh, well, okay then. Turning around, not saying another word to them, he once again boards his boat, signaling for Hinata to join him. She would do so, not really having a choice in the matter. They would once again start sailing off toward the Demon Lord's Island, or Naruto's Island at this point, and Naruto's castle. However, that's where I'm going to leave this part off. So, see you guys in the next part. Peace out, bye.